8 years have passed after the events of the first film, Enthyron, in which Chitta is disassembled following his corruption. Dr. Vasigaran, his creator, creates a female android dubbed Neela, nice intelligent, lovely assistant, and introduces her to a gathering of college students. Soon after the presentation, one of the college students' phones begins to float in midair, knocking him off his bike. When he tries to grab it, it transforms into a sparrow and takes flight into the upper atmosphere. Chennai is thrown into disarray when every mobile gadget in the city floats into the sky. The nature of the phenomenon is being discussed by a scientific group led by Home Minister S. Vijay Kumar. Despite the council's suggestions, Vasigaran is skeptical that the cause is either another nation's technology or alien forces. He emphasizes that the phones are only available in Chennai and have not yet entered the atmosphere. A phone company minister at the police station says that all phones are turned off at the same time, the crowd acting like a hive. Jayant Kumar, the proprietor of a phone retail store, is spotted driving home with a large swarm of sentient phones following him. Before he falls asleep, he is interrupted by an audio message from his employee informing him that the new shipment of phones ordered after the chaos has arrived in his home. The phone swarm appears and locks Kumar in the room, displaying birds on their screens and infiltrating his body, causing him to burst. The next day, police come at his house, completely perplexed by the form of his death, as there are no evidence of human struggle. Neela and Vasigaran discover scattered minerals and mobile phone electronic pieces. It is revealed that his cargo of phones was driven to the rest of the swarm and vanished hours before Kumar's murder. Vasigaran contacts his lover Sana to lure the rest of the swarm to his phone. He and Neela pursue the phone's electromagnetic path to a small settlement. They come across an active swarm, which manifests as a massive bird's talon. Neela saves Vasigaran from death, and the swarm disperses. Vasigaran strongly advocates reactivating his creation, Chitta, to face the emerging threat at the council. Dinendra Bora, a council member, passionately opposes Vasigaran's idea and explains the devastation Chitta wrought 8 years ago when he was reprogrammed by his father, whom Chitta murdered. S. Vijay Kumar vetoes the plan and opts for military security at cell towers and stores. Dinendra blames Vasigaran for his father's death and vows never to forget. Manoj Lula, the owner of a telecom company, is enraged by the scenario that is hampering his business and complains to Telecom Minister Veera Murthy about it. Lula drives home, but the swarm collides with his car and chases him into the forest, crushing him to death. The phones transform into a massive bird of prey and take flight. The next day, Murthy is suspicious and has military personnel protecting his home. The military is attacked by a swarm of phones in a cell phone tower construction zone, destroying all vehicles and structures. Murthy's phone soon breaks inside the house and installs itself into his body. Murthy is admitted to the hospital, and Vijay Kumar pays him a visit. Murthy is assassinated, and his phone bursts through his skin and escapes. A horrified Kumar dials Vasigaran's number and orders him to reconstruct Chitta right away. Vasigaran has recovered Chitta's former body from a technology museum and is resurrecting him with new powers and talents. Kumar emphasizes that he will be held accountable for Chitta's behavior. The bird strikes the city the next day, evading the military's defenses. A newly developed, stronger, and quicker Chitta fights the bird and drives it out of town in an armored vehicle. When the bird eats the truck and destroys it, he sets off an explosion. The phones have now reformed into a smaller bird and are attacking Chitta, who is running short on battery. He crawls to the space station's generator to recharge, but the bird is unable to enter through the station's satellite antennae and is electrocuted. The bird flees, and Chitta later shows the data to Vasigaran. Chitta deduces that the thing is an aura, namely a mass of negatively charged electrons. According to Chitta, the aura of a living animal is positively charged, whereas the aura of a deceased entity is negatively charged. According to a scientist on the space station, they broadcast positive charged signals to seek for extraterrestrial life, implying that the negative charged bird was unable to enter the stream. Vasigaran constructs a photon synthesizer that emits positive signals at the target in the hopes of containing the entity. Vasigaran notices a human face on the bird after analyzing footage of the incident. Neela informs Vasigaran of any strange cell phone-related deaths that have occurred recently. It turns out that a man committed suicide near a mobile tower the day before the phones exhibited this behavior. Vasigaran, Neela, and Chitta drive the A.I.R.D bus to the village where the phones are stored. The bird comes to life and attempts to destroy the machine, but Chitta protects it and the gadget contains the most of the aura. The partially destroyed bird takes the form of an egg, which hatches into a humanoid creature. Vasigaran recognizes him as Pakshi Rajan, a deceased ornithologist. Chitta tries to persuade Pakshi to stop assaulting, but he refuses and attempts to destroy the machine. Chitta questions why he is doing this and what Pakshi has against humanity. Pakshi brings him to a rundown house, where a flashback reveals that it was his home and a sanctuary for the birds he cared for. He tells his student how a sparrow revived him when he was stillborn, and how he has been obsessed with birds ever since. However, since the popularity of modern mobile phones, India's bird population has been declining. Pakshi recognizes that radiation from mobile devices is interfering with birds' ability to navigate and think, leading to insanity and illness in many people. He holds seminars and protests against it, but his concerns are soon rejected and insulted. He tells Lula about it, and he is thrown out of his office for squandering his time, which is important to his business and money. Pakshi's pals turn against him as the demand for cell phone usage takes their land for business when they are unable to cultivate, with the reduction of bird populations leading to overpopulation of insects consuming too many crops. All the birds in Pakshi's sanctuary and in the wild, even newborn chicks, suffer stress and anguish before dying one by one over time. Pakshi, distraught, confronts Murti and passionately accuses him of the events that have occurred, stating that there is no reason to degrade the life of birds when they are the basis for their society's survival. Murti responds by asserting that they respect their regulations and uphold their business, despite Pakshi's prior knowledge that the corporations had boosted radiation limits unlawfully in order to increase profit and consumers. Pakshi launches a lawsuit, but the corporations switch down their radiation right before inspection, and the case is dismissed. Pakshi becomes distressed and weeps over the graves of his birds. He becomes enraged and fantasizes about murdering every ignorant individual who has killed the majority of birds as a hobby. He suffers from depression and hangs himself at a phone tower. His spirit is awakened by the tower's radiation and absorbs the souls of all the city's deceased birds, as well as their pain. His spirit morphs into a vengeful aura overcome by sadness and goes on murdering sprees against the general people. Chitta sympathizes with Pakshi's pain but argues that killing all of those individuals will not change anything. According to Pakshi, people are too uninformed and thoughtless to grasp how their use of technology is affecting the environment around them. He threatens to kill every person who has contributed, but Vasigaran confines his soul in the neutralization device before he can escape. The council applauds Vasigaran, Chitta, and Neela for their brave deeds, and Kumar raises the matter of donating an army of 500 Chittas to the military to protect the nation. Dhinendra is envious of Chitta's achievement and breaks into Vasigaran's lab in order to free Pakshi's spirit. Pakshi regains control of the phones and possesses Vasigaran to keep Chitta at bay. Pakshi, now in human form, gains superhuman power and resumes slaughtering people in the city. Chitta does not stop his own creator, and Pakshi dismembers him. Neela infiltrates the police station and transforms Chitta into his 2.0 evil alter ego, who will not hesitate to murder Vasigaran if necessary. Pakshi imprisons 80,000 people at a football stadium and kills Dinendra, who was in attendance, by dousing him in radiation. Chitta storms the stadium, summoning his soldiers. He and Pakshi shape-shift and fight hard, but when Chitta is defeated, Pakshi summons a swarm of bird drones to destroy his army. Before he can destroy Chitta, he is interrupted by Kudi, a microbot created by Chitta. If Pakshi does not stand down, he and hundreds of Kuttis mounted on doves threaten to harm them. They self-destruct and eliminate the drones. Pakshi leaves Vasigaran's body after Chitta shoots him. Pakshi is led to the space station by the Kudi bots, who trap him in the signal streams, where Chitta overwhelms him with positive charge and destroys his aura. Vasigaran recovers in the hospital and tells a visiting Kumar that Pakshi's aggression was immoral, but his words were truthful, and that humanity had no right to enjoy the world's riches at the expense of animal lives. If they continue to be reckless, both nature and technology will turn against them, as Pakshi has. Kumar issues an injunction to conserve the remaining bird populations, and Chitta begins a relationship with Neela.